Senate Republicans today blocked legislation designed to protect access to in vitro fertilization, or IVF, across the nation. 51 senators voted in favor of the package and 44 against. It needed 60 votes to move forward. Only two Republican lawmakers, Susan Collins of Maine and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, backed the package. My fellow CBS News congressional correspondent, Scott MacFarlane, is with us now. And Scott, it seems like we're watching a rerun of a movie here, but why did this package fail to advance?
Oh, this sequel was just like the original, too. There wasn't even a change of characters or change in plot line. What happened here was the U.S. Senate Democrats pledged to have another one of these votes on their bill to codify federal protections for IVF. It's a bill Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth has pushed hard, and they had a similar vote earlier this year, as you know, and Republicans intervened to block it. The same thing happened here, and it's the same dispute ahead of the election. Democrats like their bill on IVF, saying it codifies federal protections, helps expand insurance coverage, prevents any state from unilaterally stopping IVF treatment from happening. Republicans prefer their plan, which allows for health savings account reimbursements, a little less expansion of insurance rates, but they also would pull back federal Medicaid money from any state that withdrew IVF protections. They say the Democrats' bill is an overreach. All this was predictable on Monday morning, but the vote happened Tuesday afternoon, and it was no coincidence. This is happening during the home stretch of an election in which Democrats want this to be part of the political terrain.
And the vice president released a statement saying, in part, quote, Republicans in Congress have once again made clear that they will not protect access to the fertility treatments many couples need to fulfill their dream of having a child. But former President Trump has said he adamantly supports access to IVF. So what's the disconnect here with some Republican lawmakers?
Well, there's a couple different issues here. One of the threads that I think you've noticed as well as anybody is that there are some battleground Senate races where Democrats would like to put this in their campaign ads, would like to amplify this going into November. So what the top of the ticket says is one thing. What the second tier of the ticket says is potentially quite different. What's more, there's a different bill in the U.S. House. In fact, there are multiple IVF bills. Seemingly everybody has some variant of an IVF bill in the U.S. House. And there are Republicans signing on to a Democratic-authored IVF bill in the House. So the politics change further when you go further down the ballot, where you actually have some bipartisan clusters forming, though nothing that's going to pass into law. This is truly, in addition to being remarkably important and remarkably impactful, a politically curious issue, the way it's manifesting itself in the home stretch to November.
And speaking of another movie we've both seen before, talk of a potential government shutdown. We know Speaker Mike Johnson said today that the House will vote Wednesday on a plan that he and other House Republican leaders want to move forward with to try to avert a potential shutdown. But as you know, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has already said this is dead on arrival. We saw the Speaker pull this bill earlier this month. Why is he moving forward with it?
No, they write these schedules in invisible ink, don't they? It just kind of disappears at the last second. It's on the calendar for tomorrow. We'll see if it stays there. Maybe Republicans can muster enough votes to pass this on party lines. It's a big maybe, but they're bullish on their prospects. This is the first chess move in a very accelerated game of chess, and it doesn't appear the team making the first move is going to win this match. They're going to get a House passed bill that extends through March 28th, includes that SAVE Act to make unlawful any undocumented migrants voting in federal elections. You know, Democrats won't have it. They say that bill is redundant. It's already illegal and doesn't really happen. But the Senate's going to have to counterpunch here at some point, and they'll do so likely in the next 7 to 10 days after the House moves, if the House moves tomorrow.
All right. Well, Scott MacFarlane, we know you'll be covering it, as will I. Thank you so much.